Hello and welcome back. In the previous units we learned a lot about angles, which comes in handy for spirals, which we're going to draw in this unit. So let's get started. In the last video we did a lot of polygons, for example triangles. For the triangles we moved first and then we turned 120 degrees. At the beginning we also put the pen down so it draws. If we want to do a spiral now, we cannot just use a repeat because we want to move a different number of steps each time. So we're going to duplicate that multiple times and just change the number of steps we're going to move. So in this case I want to move 15, then 20, then 25. So it's 5 steps more each time I move. 35 here, 40 and 45. So let's try that script and see what happens. So this one draws us a triangle spiral. The problem is this script is kind of unreadable, but we cannot make it easier by just using a loop. Of course, there is a way to make that script better readable. It's called variables. Variables are a construct in informatics and also mathematics that you can use to store values in a variable placeholder, and you can access these values from your program and also change them during your program. In Snap you can make variables in the variables category by clicking make a variable. You get to the variable editor where you can choose a variable name. So in this case I guess I will go for steps because it's the number of steps I want to store in my variable. If I click OK, I get the variable steps here. So at the beginning, I need to set my variable. For that, I take the Set Variable block tool and I click the drop-down menu. And in this drop-down menu, I can find all variables that I have. In this case, I only have one, so it's only the steps variable here. At the beginning of this script, the steps is 10, so I set my variable steps to 10. You can see the variable here on the stage when the tick box is ticked here, and you can hide it by removing the checkbox. Now I can use a repeat. So I repeat it here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. So I can choose the repeat 10 block and I say repeat 8 times. And what do I repeat? Of course, the move and the turn. I always turn 120 degrees. And now here's the magic. I always move the number of steps that I have. So for the first time, it's 10. For the next time, I want it to be 15 steps. So I change the variable inside the loop by 5. I also need to put the pen down in the beginning. And now I can try to do the exact same spiral as I did with this script. Let's try that. And it works. It's only the other way around because I didn't start in the same direction, but it worked. So you can see that this script, by just using the small variables here, got a lot more readable than this one and also a lot shorter. This is not the only thing that you can do with variables, and you can also make a lot more beautiful spirals with variables by using the for loop, the main topic of this unit. The for loop you need to import by clicking on the File menu and then click on Import Tools. The Tools is a block library where you get additional blocks that you can use for your program. The for loop is in the control category, and all your new blocks, as the custom blocks that we did in the last unit, are at the bottom of your palette. So here we can find the for loop, and we can use that for drawing spirals. At the beginning, I just want to explain how it works. So here we have an internal variable, which is called I. And I is set to the first value at the beginning, and then it's automatically incremented by 1 each time the loop is executed until it equals the second number. So let's try that with the countdown. So I can say I for 1 second, and now you can see that it starts with 1 and it counts up to 10 and says the internal variable for 1 second. And when it's 10, so the end value is, we get to the end value, then the loop just stops. So now we can use that to draw spirals as well. By saying move I, and then turn any number of degrees that you like. So my absolutely favorite spiral is the 137 degree spiral. And also we want to repeat that a lot more often, let's say 150 times. And let's clear the stage and move the sprite to the center. Oh, and clear the stage again because we didn't put the pen up. And let's see what happens. So this, for example, is the 137 degree spiral. We could also do another one. The classic one is the 121 that you can find a lot on the Snap website, for example. That looks kind of like a triangle, but with a small difference in the angles. And also a really nice one, which is kind of closely related to the flowers we did in the first video, is the 66 degrees, because that looks like a rose. So I want to invite you to experiment more angles, and also in the exercise this week you should build a animation for all spirals that you can do with the for loop. You can see it here, how it should look later. So here you see all animations, or all spirals that you can do with the for loop, and this is an animation of different angles. You need to use the warp block that we introduced in the last video, and also the for loop. So that was it for week 1, unit 3. In the next unit, my colleague Jens will take things a step further. In the unit Be Reflective, Mirror Images. See you soon.